There are a lot of strong new cards, but today it's Bidoof's time to shine. I know Bidoof is historically not very strong, but I still like him, so I decided I would try to make a Bidoof deck, no matter how good his card is. Let's take a look. Super Fang, halve your opponent's remaining HP. Sorry, what? Bidoof attacks for half of your opponent's HP? Maybe he's actually broken? Oh, and he's gone. Okay, Super Fang can be pretty crazy, but if we're going to make a winning Bidoof deck, we'll need to solve his weaknesses. And there's a lot of them. First, his attack is slow to power up. We need 2 whole turns of energy attaching before he's ready to attack. Honestly, a 2 energy attack wouldn't be bad if it wasn't for his next weakness. He only has 60 HP, which means Bidoof usually doesn't survive to attack more than once. Your first 2 turns of energy are gone, and your opponent still has the other half of their HP. Bidoof just isn't able to win all by himself. We'll need to find a Pokemon that can finish what Bidoof started, and that Pokemon just so happens to be in the same route. It's Shinx. Well, we're evolving him to Luxray, because Luxray's attack is actually the perfect follow-up for Bidoof. Luxray does 120 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, so even a damaged Pokemon can't run away. But how do we power up Luxray fast enough when he needs 3 energy to attack? If only there was a way to bring back Bidoof's energy. Oh hey, there is. Volkner takes 2 discarded energy and attaches them to Luxray, so Luxray can avenge Bidoof immediately after. Here's the full deck, which I've named my very first Platinum team when I was a kid, because that's exactly what it was. It's not a perfect list, but my childhood team is finally reunited years later. And now, the Route 1 heroes and I were ready to take on the meta. We're going against a Darkrai deck for the first game, and you don't see Darkrai yet, but you'll see him soon. Yep, here he comes. Our opponent puts him onto the bench. They're going to play a Professor's Research to draw some more cards, and they're just going to bench a second Tredegan and pass it over to us. Their board is filled with intimidating Pokemon, and we just have our Bidoof. We find the Shinx off the Pokeball, and we have Luxio and Luxray in our hand, so we're ready to evolve our Shinx, and we can start attaching energy to our Bidoof. Our opponent's going to attach energy to the Darkrai, which kicks in his ability. That's going to put 20 damage on our Bidoof without it even being in the active. But they just pass over to us. We can evolve our Shinx into Luxio and use Bidoof's Super Fang. Since Super Fang technically doesn't do damage in the traditional sense, we're able to get around Tredegan's Rough Skin ability. Our opponent plays Pokeball to find the last piece of the deck, and they're going to bench their Froakie. They'll attach another Dark Energy, so our Bidoof is at critical health right now. We're going to be knocked out on the next turn, so we're definitely going to need to evolve. We can start by evolving Luxray. We're going to need to evolve Bidoof here just so he doesn't get knocked out this turn. Since we're only playing 1 Shinx in the deck, I'm using Pokemon Communication here to maybe try to find our second Bidoof instead, and we do find it, which is pretty lucky. We can bench that Bidoof and knock out this Tredegan with a Rolling Tackle. But this time, since we're actually doing damage, the 20 damage is going to kick in. We're going to take our first point, but this Abarial is definitely going down. Their Darkrai is basically powered up. They just need 1 more energy to attack, which they're going to have this turn. They're evolving their Froakie to Frogadier and benching a second Darkrai, so their board is pretty scary at this point. They're attaching their third energy, which is going to do that extra 20 damage. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but the barrel is going to go down. Good work, Barrel, you did well. They're going to take their first point, and here we can send up Luxray because it has free retreat. We can pivot to Bidoof if we want to. And we'll actually do that. We'll do that because we have Dawn in the hand. We'll use Dawn to take the energy off the benched Luxray and attach a second energy, so we're going to be able to use Super Fang to do 70 damage to the Darkrai EX. And now Darkrai is only 1 Luxray attack away from getting knocked out. They're evolving to Greninja, basically the ideal board state for them. Although their Darkrai is going to be a liability. You'll see that we have 1 card in our hand, but that 1 card happens to be the very most important card. They're going to use Greninja's Water Shuriken to go for the Luxray, I guess. We'll let them play out their turn, but it is over for them. They're gonna attach to their bench Darkrai to power that up. Probably knock out the Bidoof. and use Giant Cape, so their Darkrai does get a little more HP, but that HP is not going to be enough to save them. Bidoof is going to go down, but Bidoof did very well this game. Bidoof got 2 of his Super Fang attacks. Now it's Luxray's time to finish things out. We can attach an energy manually and also use Volkner. Our Luxray went from 0 energy to 3 energy in one turn, and we can use Volt Bolt to finish the game, take the final 2 points on the Darkrai. In this game we're going against one of the new fighting box decks, and both of our Pokemon happen to be weak to fighting, which means unfortunately we're gonna have to use Barrel instead of Bidoof this game, but I still wanted to include this game because there's a cool Volkner play that we make. Our opponent's going first, they have a Ralts, which means they're probably playing the Gallade EX, and they have the Riolu as well, so if they evolve that, their Lucario is going to power up all of their fighting Pokemon's attacks. They get a second Riolu off that Pokeball, they're playing another Pokeball to thin out their deck a little bit more, and they'll just pass it over to us. They have all of their bench filled. We can play our Pokeball first, we get a Bidoof. We want to find our Shinx, but we can guarantee the Shinx from this Pokeball since that's our last basic in the deck. We can bench that Shinx, attach an energy to Bidoof, and we'll probably save the other Bidoof for now, just in case. No need to fill up our bench, so immediately they have the fancy Lucario art, which means all of their fighting Pokemon are going to do 20 more damage. Attach an energy to Ralts, and they're going to teleport it. It seems like they don't have the evolutions just yet, so they're trying to keep it safe so they can evolve it later. Because Bidoof's gonna get knocked out from one attack from Hitmonchan plus the Lucario ability, we're going to have to evolve to Barrel to start surviving. This does mean at least we can do 60 damage this turn. I'm gonna try to Pokemon Communication to find Shinx's evolutions. We find Luxray, but not the Luxio. That's okay. We have the Luxray in our hand at least, and we can do 60 damage to Hitmonchan. We also have the Rocky Helmet just in case. If they do decide to attack us, then the Hitmonchan would be knocked out. They're attaching an energy to Lucario. Seems like they're having a hard time finding their Ralts evolutions. We can play a Professor's Research to hopefully find some more evolutions, and we do find the Luxio off of that. So we can evolve that, attach an energy to him, and use Barrel's Rolling Tackle to finish the Hitmonchan. They're sending Lucario up now, and probably attacking with it. They have the first energy, and they can attach a second energy. Here it's a little scary because they find the evolution to their Ralts, so that means next turn, they might have the Gallade ready to evolve. Lucario is going to do a lot of damage to us because of its ability and also because of our weakness, so we're in a tough spot. Here's a little bit of an interesting play that I make. We can evolve our Luxio to Luxray, and we don't have any energy in the discard pile, so normally we wouldn't be able to use Volkner to attack with Luxray this turn, but there's another way to get energy in the discard, and that is by retreating. The Barrel has a 2 energy retreat cost, so we can get 2 energy in the discard, ready for Volkner to power the Luxray up. So now with the Luxray powered up, we are able to use Volt Bolt, and I decide here, I think it's important to go after the Kirlia, because if that evolves, I don't know if we're going to be able to win this game at all. It's pretty cool that Luxray is able to do damage to any of their Pokemon. Our opponent finds their second Lucario, so now their attacks are going to be really strong. They're attaching to their bench Lucario, and their Submarine Blow does a crazy 100 damage because of all of the damage stacking. We draw into Professor's Research. We can use Professor's Research. We're kind of looking for Volkner at this point, and we do find it. We can't use it this turn, so we're going to have to retreat Luxray so he doesn't get knocked out this time. We have the energy on the Barrel, so we can attach one more to use Rolling Tackle. If this Lucario decides to attack, they'll get knocked out from the Rocky Helmet, but of course they have a fresh one on the bench. They're using Leaf to retreat and preserve their energy. The Barrel is definitely going down this turn. They bring up their bench Lucario and one more Submarine Blow. 100 damage. We'll do 20 damage to them back. They're gonna take their first point. And now we have Volkner in our hand, so we can send up the Luxray. All we need to do is use Volkner to put the 2 energy from the discard on Luxray. And our opponent concedes because that's all we need to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was pretty fun to try and make a deck with 2 Pokemon I grew up with, and I surprisingly had some fun games with it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.